I will never forget the look on Yakubu's face when he realized Laban had tricked him. He put back the veil, expecting to see Rahila, the woman he loved. But there was Laiatu, her sister, staring back at him. The shock and betrayal in his eyes were something I will never forget. It all started when Yakubu arrived in Haran. He was tired and dusty from traveling. I was working in the fields that day and I saw him stop by the well. Rahila, Laban's younger daughter, was there too, leading her sheep. Yakubu offered to roll the stone away from the well for her, even though it usually took several men to do it. He was strong, that's for sure. But what caught my attention was the way he looked at Rahila. You could tell he was smitten right away. Rahila ran home to tell her father about Yakubu, and Laban came out to meet him. They hugged like old friends because Yakubu was family. Laban brought him into the house, gave him a place to stay, and everything seemed fine. After a month, Laban asked Yakubu what wages he wanted for his work. Yakubu didn't hesitate.
I will work for you 7 years if you let me marry Rahila,
he said. Laban agreed, and Yakubu worked harder than anyone I had ever seen. 7 years went by fast because he was so focused. He didn't care about the long days or the hard labor. He only cared about Rahila. When the time came for the wedding, there was a big feast. Everyone was celebrating, and Yakubu looked so happy. But Laban had other plans. Late that night, when it was time for Yakubu to meet his bride, Laban sent Laiatu instead of Rahila. She wore a heavy veil, so Yakubu didn't realize what had happened until the morning. The next day, Yakubu stormed into Laban's house, furious.
Why did you trick me? Why you do me like this now? I worked 7 years for Rahila, not Laiatu,
he shouted. Laban didn't even look ashamed. He just shrugged and said,
It's not our custom to marry off the younger daughter before the older one. Finish the wedding week with Laiatu, and then you can marry Rahila too. But you will have to work another 7 years for her.
Yakubu agreed. What else could he do? He married Rahila a week later, but the tension in the house was thick. Laiatu was hot because Yakubu clearly loved Rahila more. Rahila was frustrated too, especially when Laiatu started having children while she couldn't. I watched it all unfold over the years. The jealousy, the competition, the way Yakubu kept working harder and harder, trying to build a life for his growing family. Yakubu wasn't the same man he was when he arrived in Haran. He got smarter. He grew rich with flocks, servants, and wealth. Thank you.